2 comic series that I'm doing with myself and Zergling. Okay, so anyway, so me and the little guy here, we're going to be going through a series of Starcraft 2 comics. In fact, all the comics that you see up here on the screen, we've already covered Kerrigan, Hope and Vengeance, which is actually now out on my YouTube channel. Basically, I'll be going through the comic, I'll be reading the lore. I'll be reading the comic, of course, but I'll also be going through the lore, going through what I know about what's going down. This is going to be my way of, since I cast a decent amount of StarCraft 2, my way of trying to brush up on some of the other areas. Because there is a lot of media out here, I might take one day to like go through all the screenshots. There's also other cool stuff like the press site, which isn't really talked about. Yeah, I might take a day to go through some of this, the history of the development lore, as it's called. But enough dilly-dally. It's now time to go into a comic called Nova 2016. Let's go. Let's close all these. Wait for this to load. Oh, this is a different format. It's called Nova. The Keep is 24 pages long. Click on the arrow to advance. Okay, okay, full screen. How do I exit full screen? Okay, download. By the way, for those watching online in the future on YouTube and stuff, okay, first of all, I do read these live in chat, so so if you do want to catch me, there will be a link to my Twitch below. All of these are always read live. Hopefully, you can come in. Do feel free to ask a few questions in the chat among other places. Hopefully I can answer what I can. I've read a number of the books. I won't say all just yet. But, hopefully this will be something different and interesting. So, it's Nova the Keep. The 2016 date is interesting because Nova Covert Ops came out, I believe, in 2016 thereabouts. Nova Covert Ops. Let me double check this. Yeah, correct. So November 2016. So this is the not so much the compendium, but the accompanying media. This was released right before Legacy of the Void, Artana's Sacrifice. Hope and Vengeance was released before Heart of the Swarm. Everything after that, Shadow Wars, was done as part of the War Chest, which we'll get into next time. But on to the actual comic. I'm actually playing the Nova Covert Ops right now, so I don't know how this fits into the story. I assume that this came before that, so let's go. Okay, I need to make this full screen. Nova the Keep. Script by Mickey Nelson, don't recognize the name. Artist by Andres Gilnado. Colorist Sandra Merlin. Letters Glenn Robinson. I think the same letters from before. Senior editor is... Oh, okay, this is a different style. Zoom option, okay. Let's do it this way. Graphic designer John J. Hill, nice name. Okay, creative consultants Alan Drilling, Chris Menzies. Okay, so this one's important. Chris over here is one of the key writers of Blizzard, the traditional Blizzard classic games in general. I think Warcraft, a lot of the Warcraft story, things like I think Thrall and Jaina he was also, I think, the chief writer for Starcraft 2. He definitely wrote a lot of stuff in the Brood War days, but that's one of them. He's one of the big names over at he used to be one of the big names over at Blizzard, but he's left now. Alright, so Visaya Jims's Tim Morton. Oh, Tim Morton's important. Tim Morton is or rather was the overall guy in charge of Starcraft 2. I don't know what his position was at this point when this came out, but he would eventually become the StarCraft 2 team lead. So he's important. Jennifer E. Owings, Martin Tenger, Valerie Wall. By the way, Tim Morton and Menzies have both left the company, fortunately or unfortunately. They've gone to their own ventures. We wish them all the best. Alright, so law consultants is Sean Copland, Justin Parker, and Evelyn Fredrickson. Producer is Jeffrey Wong. I'm reading through these because these are people who put time and effort into this. They deserve a shout out. Senior Manager Global Licensing Brian Partner. Blizzard Director of Story and Creative Development James Wong. Special thanks to Sam Didier and David. I think Sam Didier might be a co-founder. I'm not 100% sure on that. Alright, but let's go on to the story. Records surfaced today indicating that the outer colony Senator Josh Bridges campaigned under a false identity. Apparently, he did this in order to hide an extensive criminal record, which includes assault, extortion, larceny, I don't know what that means, and attempted murder. Morgan was arrested in his home and is now awaiting trial. Okay, this is the UNN, by the way. It's a spoof on the American news network, oh dear, CNN. However, it's also their, the Terran Dominion's news network, which is heavily controlled by the government, but not entirely. So this UNN, this might be Kate Lockwell, this might not be, I can't really see by the picture. Kate Lockwell was the anchor that you see throughout a lot of the game. Secrets are a funny thing. You bury them, hide them, guard them. Some of us will do anything to protect them. Others choose to ignore them. Good point about the ignore. One luxury most people can't afford is the option of forgetting them. Oh boy. Me? I'm a ghost. A psionic telepath and assassin. I'm not most people. I will get to this point at the end of the page. In my line of work, I've been called upon to cross certain boundaries, whatever it took to get the job done. I can't count the number of lives I've taken. Ah, Agent X418. Wouldn't it be easy to just call me Nova? Of course, we're ready for you. Can't count them because I don't remember. Alright, I think this is going to be explained in a second, but basically, for the Terran Ghost, okay, basically, by the time of this story, in 2.5, I think 3 something, thereabouts, like, technology has progressed to a point that you can do mind wipes and mind alteration. They do this for the Terran Marine and the Reaper. It's called resocialization. They go and they kind of rewire your brain. For the Ghost, it's different. What they do is they go and they wipe the memories of, of previous assassins so they can't become a liability. We'll see how far they're going to push that right here. It's probably the machine. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I thought we would get the pages one at a time. Hold on. Pages, issues. Okay. Yeah, like, some of it's appearing part by part, some of it's appearing as a whole, never mind. We'll just read it as a whole. Under the old Dominion leadership, okay, memory wipes were mandatory for all ghosts after mission. Yep, here we go. Now things are different under our new emperor. I have a choice. My latest mission was to procure next generation tech from our enemies. A prototype phase disruptor. Basically a weapon that shakes apart matter at a molecular level. 5 minutes from now there will be an entire operation will be a black hole in my brain. Are you ready? Ready. Every mission, every operation, every secret and every regret. I've spent so much time focusing on that, on the fact that I can erase those memories. It feels very strange being able to ask myself whether I should. Okay, memory removal. Okay, this is basically what I was talking about. It's some sort of like brain scan. Alright, so as I was saying previously, yes, under Mengsk and the Confederacy before that, you had, it was mandatory. It says so right here. Prevent secrets. But under the new emperor, basically Valerian, whom I think is on this page up there he is, he basically tried to be a bit more humane and say, you know what, we'll let the ghosts decide if we should wipe their memories or if not. Sarah Kerrigan, which was the strongest psionic person until she got captured by the Zerg, one big reason that led her to defect away from the Confederacy and go rogue was due to these mind wipes, unless I'm very mistaken. So, yep. Alright, so let's move to the next page. Later. Emperor Valerian Mengsk's office. His father, Octurus, commanded the old regime. There we go. Ghosts normally receive briefings from the Emperor himself, which makes me wonder. I'm sure why you're asking myself why you're here. Alright. My father trafficked in shadows and lies, yes. Treachery, duplicity, and deceit, yes. His transgressions proved to be his undoing, kind of. I've taken great care to distance myself from his regrettable legacy. Well, that's one step, as mentioned in the previous page. Information of a sensitive nature has fallen into the hands of the enemies within the Umoja Protectorate. Oh boy, lots of law here. Information that could destroy the bridge of trust I built with my people. Alright, so two things. Now, one is that I forgot to mention about the enemies, about the phase disruptor. This sounds like Protoss technology. That, again, the Terrans are always attempting to reverse engineer Protoss technology. But the one other group in the Kapulu sector, or this region of space, that has better tech, well, there are two of them, but one of them doesn't matter. The first is the UED, the United Earth Director. I'm not going to go into that because they've not really been too relevant since the Brood War, to be honest. The other is the Umojan Protectorate. To cut a long story short, he almost certainly will go into a bit of detail about the Umojan Protectorate, but basically they're one of the three major factions, human factions in the sector. They're the smallest, but they've got the best tech. The other is the Kalmorian Combine, which I'm not going to go into right now. This is actually interesting, because Megs, I think, was a heavy smoker, and this Cuban cigar, I don't know what this is, it could be a belt or a gun or a detonator, could be, part of that legacy, I believe. But we'll have to see. This is also interesting, because now Valerian's asking Nova, again, I've not read this comic, to hide a lie, but let's see what this actually is. Let's continue this briefing. Alright. Okay, the Umojans possess data disks containing encoded communication logs. These messages would prove irrefutable that I read the Mobius Foundation. Oh boy. Okay, Mobius, another long story to go. Outwardly, the Foundation was an archaeological society. Recently, however, its security arm, Mobius Corps, if you know for the co-ops, employed Zerg Protoss hybrids in attacks against innocent civilians. Never mind. I will get back to this. That's not the correct phrasing. I was, of course, unaware of Mobius's agenda, of the corruption within its ranks. Of course. I can sense that he's hiding something, but that's not my business. My business is the mission. I want you to infiltrate the facility where the data disks are, retrieve them and return them to me. Understood. Where are the disks being held? Okay. Mobius Core, alright. So here's the thing. So two things. First of all is that Valerian Megsk, this guy over here, the Emperor with very dark eyes in this picture, unless I'm mistaken, his mother was actually an archaeologist. So he has a deep love of history and alien cultures, but also from a practical military sense, because Protoss tech and Zerg biology is so far ahead of what the Terrans have that they need that edge to survive. In the lore, the Terrans are barely hanging on. Spoiler alert for Wings of Liberty, which you should play for free online, is that he basically was the head of an organization called the Mobius Foundation, which was dedicated to discovering alien tech, specifically Xel'Naga, which is the faction that supposedly created the Protoss and the Zerg. I'm not going to get into that. The fact, and he was their chair, in Wings of Liberty, he actually, funded Tychus and Vader on a lot of the operations against his own father. Complicated reasons there. The reason that this line specifically bothers me is that no, they did not employ Zerg Protoss hybrids. They were led by Zerg Protoss hybrids. Because the other key factor in the Mobius Corps was actually one of Amon's top lieutenants. What is his name? His name forgets me. His Broodmore name is Sam Duran. Dr. Emil. He was Amon's top lieutenant. He was using the Foundation to create hybrids. And then at the end of the Third War, the hybrids were let loose upon the galaxy, killing probably billions of people. And the fact that, Valerian used to be the head of the organization before they went rogue, it doesn't look too good. Alright, so where's the information being held? That's the last point. The keep. A remote bastard floating in the vastness of Umojan space. Okay. The facility is surrounded by 4 super heavily armed sentinel watchtowers. If anything larger than a pebble, how big is a pebble, gets within range and poses a threat, it will be blown to microparticles. Alright, the Umojans have touted the keep as impenetrable, as impenetrable. All known data suggests that's not an empty boast. Yeah, you've got a lot of guns. Unidentified craft. Transmit clearance code or you will be fired upon. Unidentified craft. Transmit clearance code. This is your final warning. This is Sentinel-2. Car shows no heat signatures. Vessel appears to be derelict. No weapons capabilities. Space shouldn't work like that. Copy Sentinel-2. Moving to intercept and identify. The problem. How do you infiltrate a fortress that no one alive has ever breached? Okay, so this is new. This is new. A lot of Emotion tech is based off the general Terran technology, but they're more advanced. The question is, how is a derelict spacecraft heading towards it? Like, again, imagine this was the open sea and the boat suddenly starts drifting. It would have to drift, again, engines off for a long time before it reached here, because this ship would have need to drop out of warp space or the FTL before they reach. It's a bit of a Nova's almost certainly on the ship. This is a way to derelict vessel identified as Caradon A36 docking now. The solution, don't be alive. A way to identify, come back to a Corellian light freighter that was seized by pirates. Okay. Corellian. It was from Corhol, I believe. I don't recognize this planet or this faction per se. I think that's what it means. Copy. On board now. Okay, I should finish the page. Craft is pressurized, but gravity and life supports are out. So far, I've floated coffin entering the main cabin. Okay. Keep looks like the crew abandoned. They left one behind, though female dead. Copy. The ship in. The comms goes to quarantine. I mean, I don't know what the proper procedure is if, like, such a high security place found like a dead body. Whether they just blow it up and call it a day or they try and scrap the ship, we'll probably find out in the next couple of pages. The ship was taken by pirates, however recently the Dominion took it back. Commander, this is MedLab 1, preparing for autopsy. I admitted a self-toxin that mimics death. Of course, the wrong dosage would have resulted in actual death. My suit was programmed to pump an antitoxin into my system several hours after the injection. I'm just relieved things went according to plan. A slight psionic push. Oh, just give me a few moments of privacy. So for those that were asking what psionic powers do, this is one of them. Commander just got the mother of all edicts, taking a quick break. Yeah, there is actually certain drugs and certain things even today that can mimic death, that can slow your heart rate down so low that it's not detectable. I don't know. It's been used in film a couple of times. I don't know if it's been actually something like this has actually happened. The psionic push, however, is impossible. Won't take long for the doc to come back and see if I'm gone. I'm actually quite surprised that they didn't just like. Okay, they were preparing the autopsy. And they probably did consider this angle. Gone. Before anything else, I have to get what I need from the Charadon. Hopefully we start raising the alarm. I was still dead when he brought me to the med lab. Finding my way back to the docking bay might require some brain picking. Copy command, decontamination complete. When I reach out telepathically to get information I need, I feel a similar technique being used on me? What? By the way, this is Nova's stealth suit. It's basically a full cloaking suit. I forget the specific name of the model. It's in the covert ops. But yeah, basically it's invisible unless you have detection or you get EMP'd. A found presence inside my brain. The sensation is unpleasant. I know you're here. A shadow guard. Fellow psionic assassin. The emotion version of me. Confronting one is where surviving the encounter is unheard of. Oh. Oh. Okay, let's finish this page. I remember you. He can detect my alpha waves. Probe my thoughts. I quiet my mind. It was on Xanada Prime. You blew up a tenement building. Innocent people died. You don't remember that, do you? Is he telling the truth? Is this attack to get inside my head, throw me off, gain the advantage? I can sense him on the other side of that door waiting. Could be a trap. Things like that don't go away after you get brain scrubbed. Your past is always there, just under the surface. Time for a new strategy. Make him come after me. I know. I should know. I've done terrible things. Difference is I don't try to ignore them. Okay, I want to cut out for a quick second here, because the Shadow Guard, there's actually a model for this. And I want to go into this real quick. Shadow Guard SC2. Here we go. Oh no, this is the Nerazim unit. C2. Ah, here it is. There's actually a skin for this. Oh, it's probably gonna be later. No, I want the game skin. Here we go. We have to go to the Ghost. Alright, so this is the Terran Ghost. Nova's 1, she's just a more advanced version. I'm gonna scroll down. Aha! This is the in-game model for the Umojan Ghost, the Shadow Guard. This can be bought as part of the... It's basically a skin you can choose to purchase. It's technically in the game, although in 1v1 the stats are exactly the same as the 1v1 variant. So let's go back to this side. There he is. You know there's no point, right? In any of this, you can't hide from me. What are you trying to accomplish? Don't you realize you're as good as dead? Oh, he shoots. He can follow my alpha waves, but he can only pinpoint me within a limited radius. Okay, so it's not like ultra precise. And she kicks the gun. There's a fight. There's a more fighting. Oof! He takes the gun, shoots him. Did he kill? Intruder alert, intruder alert. Okay, so basically she fired the rifle. Which is interesting because this isn't the standard Ghost rifle. Which is a very interesting weapons design. But still, let's get back to the action. Great. Looks like the dog found her dead body and got up and walked away. I don't know, isn't this like... Wasn't this live gunfire? Oh, Black Widows, next generation tech, capable of detecting... Oh, this is important. Psionic alpha patterns. They swarm the target and explode. Last they knew they were still theoretical about... In the theoretical phase. Nothing theoretical about these. Explosions damage the suit, no more cloaking. Alright, so this seems to be the... So here's the thing, in Starcraft 2, as of Legacy of the Void, the current mine being used is the Widow Mine, which is the successor of the Spider Mine from Brood War, but it doesn't have cloaking capabilities. This one seems to have anti-cloak. Basically, it's a detector, it can chase down Nova. If this was Widow Mines, although a Widow Mine is the size of a car, it should be okay, but no, these are not. These are Black Widows, the next generation. No, I'm running these things, too many of them to shoot. I need a solution fast. Okay, she follows the wires. End of the line. If this doesn't work... Okay, she blows it off. Breathable air on the station is stored as liquid oxygen. It must be freezing. Oh, when it's vented, it will freeze whatever it's touched. Good thing my hostile environment suit is withstand the cold vacuum of space. With the immediate threat neutralized, I can finally get back to the docking bay and get to work. Okay, so she's still making her way to the ship. I think that's a Terran Vulture by the... Oh, that's a Wraith. Oh, this is a Wraith. I think that's a ship. I think this is a Vulture. I'm fairly certain this is a Wraith. I've never seen a parked Wraith before this moment, which is cool. I always wonder how those things took off. Alright, let's jump to the next page. Once I'm done, I'll have to go back inside. To be careful, my cloaking non-functional. The emotions can track me visually. For all the good it will do. She was basically, well, the Dominion's best operative, agent, assassin, whatever you want to call it. Minutes later, I find my next destination, the maintenance shaft. Okay, they've got a lift. The biggest benefit of pirate ships like Cowdon? Oh, smuggling compartments for things like the canister rifle and explosives. Yep, that's a gun that she's more used to compared to the Umojan gun. More ammo too. You sure this is where she look? Command on patrol. We have a large explosive that share and counting. Can you reach it? Negative. We can't get to the timer. Timer is less than 2 minutes. Your Mugen won't risk staying. All personnel evacuate immediately. Okay. When they call for reinforcements, fall back to the watchtower and wait. Okay. Settle 2. This is away 2. Docking complete. Settle 1. This is away 1. Commencing docking. Settle 3. This is away 3. Preparing to dock. Unfortunately, my medkit, the lady says. I don't know if this was the same lady. The bomb in the shaft was a decoy. Oh, okay. I hacked the data terminals for the comm logs. Comm logs here, call for reinforcements went out 2 minutes ago. Red Drop says ETA for backup was 5 minutes. I don't know how she managed to rig all the ships to explode, and I don't fully understand if she's on the keyboard. I think she's on the Sentinel still. So 3 minutes to reach the final objective, the vault, an indestructible storehouse of walls with 1 meter thick, made of the densest material known to mankind. I retrieved one last item from the Caradon smuggling compartment. I guess she's on the keep, which would be a dumb place to bring. Oh, look at this gun, it's so cool. The weapon I'm assembling is a prototype for Phase Disruptor. It takes apart matter atom by atom. I'm so focused on putting the gun together that I almost don't sense him approaching. I'll never make it to the rifle before he reaches me. You didn't confirm your kill. Sloppy. Okay, she kicks his butt. The Shadow Guard. 30 seconds left. I fire. And both the Shadow Guard and the wall are taken apart at the molecular level. Impressive. I retrieved the data disk. Lots of nice guns too. I return to the Chowder with little time to spare. 2 seconds. After I re-engage life supports on the ship, Umojan reinforcements jump in just as I jump out. Okay, she gets out. Such a small thing to have created so much difficulty. Secrets, I believe, are often tied to regret. I've been giving a lot to my thought to my involvement with Mobius. And I keep coming to the same uncomfortable conclusion. I should have known. I should have known what they intended for the hybrid program. Though I like to think otherwise, I wonder if part of me chose not to acknowledge, did know. If so, that he was a bit too close to my father for my liking. I must not repeat his mistakes. Permission to speak freely, sir? Yes. What do you plan to do with the disc? Oh, I knew it. Alright, so I want to stop here because there's a bit of lore background. Again, I've spoken about Mobius, I've spoken about them. Basically, Mobius did a lot of R&D. Basically, Mobius was the Terran organization that helped with the money and the resources. They helped create some of the hybrids. The hybrids in turn would end up leading the organization. The guy in charge, Emil, was effectively Amon's lieutenant, the leader of the hybrids before Amon's return. So yeah, that's what he's talking about. I don't know whether he knew about the hybrid program specifically. Like what they... Okay, from this statement, this is actually new information to me. He knew about the hybrid program. He didn't know that they were going to use the hybrid program to try and wipe out all life in the galaxy. Alright. Destroy them, of course. Why do you ask? It's something somebody said to me. He basically said the past doesn't go away just because we choose to ignore it. I think that applies to secrets too. But I think secrets only hold power so long as you let them. Well, yes. That will be all. You may go. Yes, sir. Looks at this. Okay, he's probably going to make it public. But yeah, this is a good point. I think this is right after Valerian's rise to power. We'll see. Let's finish this comic proper. Oh, okay. We're done. The mission is over. Time for my memory work. I can't help thinking about the fact that I have a choice. And remembering the mission, the Umojans who perished when the Sentinel watchtower exploded, including non-combat personnel like the Doctor. Yeah, the one she blew up. And I think just because we can't forget something doesn't mean we should. Okay, here we go, I knew it. In an unprecedented show of transparency, Emperor Valerian Max has come forward to state that early on he supported the Mobius Foundation. Max, Valerian, not Arcturus, also had this to say: I will not stand before you and try to minimize the Mobius Foundation's atrocity, nor will I deny the simple truth that I failed you. I failed you by not striving hard enough, not digging deep enough to uncover Mobius' agenda. I say to you, no more secrets, no more running from the past. It is time to look for the future. At the end. Interesting. Alright, so read the next issue, Starcraft 2 War Chest, Shadow Wars Part 1. I will be going through this. If you're watching this on YouTube, it might already be out, it might not be. If it's not, do subscribe, comment below. Okay, we got a bit of a preview, so let's dissect this page. We have Marines. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, it jumps straight to there. Okay, that's not what I intended. Okay, no, that's for next time. Let me go back. Let's go to the last page and see the Shadow Wars cover. Get a bit of a preview of what's coming up. Again, this is new. This wasn't in the previous comics. The previous comics were just PDF pages. Blizzard or whoever they worked with did step up their game in this comic, which is nice to see. Okay, this is a Hydralisk. This is a Roach. There are 4 Marines. There's something back here that I can't tell what it is. It could be a Queen, it could be a Zergling, I can't tell with certainty. Those guys are screwed. Unless there's a medevac pickup in 1v1, you are just dead. Okay, so let's go through this a little bit. The format. It's got some quality of life changes, which will take me a bit of time to get used to. Well, let's see. What are my thoughts on this comic? I like the art style. Well, okay, the art style is different. The story's okay. I mean, in the previous 2 comics, it was a lot of recap on what we already knew. In fact, let me switch pages. Yeah, so reading the past 2 comics, like Artanis Sacrifice and Kerrigan Hope and Vengeance was a lot of recapping. I still think I like Kerrigan Hope and Vengeance a little bit more. I'm just gonna say it, favoritisms or what you will. Because Kerrigan Hope and Vengeance had a bit of additional backstory and a bit more action. Artanis' Sacrifice is really just a recap of what happened from Artanis in the Brood War. As for Nova, it's a new story, which is interesting. You know, one thing I have to criticize, okay, so this one's not bad. I like when they displayed new tech. I like the introduction of the Shadow Guards. By the way, the Shadow Guards here came way before their debut in Starcraft 2 via the skin. So that's always interesting to see. The art style of Valerian looks so different from what I'm used to seeing in-game. I guess that could have been an artistic choice to make him look a bit more aggressive than he normally. He's got this very boyish look, almost like Anduin. In fact, in Heroes of the Storms, there's a Valerian mech skin for Anduin, but that's a separate issue. What I would have liked is that rather than coming forth with full disclosure, is he gave kind of a half measure, because yeah, you want to show that Valerian's the good guy, but at the same time it's always nice to see that, you know, change is gradual. Because his immediate reaction, like based on this comic, the immediate reaction is to destroy it. And then he suddenly decides to let the people know something, a halfway point, right? Like, you know, he accepts certain responsibilities for the Mobius Foundation. Maybe there's a middle ground for it, because yes, they need to wrap up the comic. They need to talk about maybe he released all the data. Maybe he just declared that he supported the Foundation, because if in Wings of Liberty he was the freaking chair. He was the big boss behind the entire operation. Interesting to see Nova in her civilian outfit, I guess, or her non-combat dress. Interesting about the phase disruptor. Again, I don't actually know, by the way. This is an awesome. This is like an anti-tank weapon. It doesn't. It looks more Umojan or maybe Kalmorian tech than Protoss. I don't actually know what the Shadow guy is talking about. Sandar could just be a past mission. It's kind of weird that the Shadow Guard didn't just raise the alarm immediately. It could have been ego, you know, he wanted to kill her. Maybe he was there. I remember you. Oh, he was probably there. He probably knew the brainwaves. He probably recognized the brainwave and wanted to get revenge again. I don't know. See, that's the thing. We don't know anything about him, do we? We don't know his name. We don't know his backstory. It probably will never come up again. All we know is that he's, the doctor has mentioned, all we know is that he's got like dark hair, and then he died when oh yeah, that's his dead body. He died when the particle cannon was fired. That's all we know. It would have been really interesting if we saw a little bit of Protoss technology here, but you know, guessing. Alright, I think that's enough of my first reaction lore video and breakdown for this comic. Alright, this was reading Nova 2016. The next time we come back, we'll be playing, I'll be reading through Shadow Wars Part 1 and slowly going through the series. The art, especially later on, looks a lot better. You know, as time goes on, people get better at making comics, even the professionals, and translate it to web. Again, this is where you can read them. It's all online, it's all free. If you like my content, do like and subscribe. With that, we are just about done. If not for me, do it for the Zegling.